him after the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in-game live. Game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe getting ready to start the second half. We'll touch on the football here in a second. Swing around the NBA, NHL, a little college basketball here for a few. I got 2 close games and 2 blowouts in the NBA. Close game, your Raptors tied with Charlotte 108 all, 33 seconds left. I knew that 8.5 to start the game was a little fishy. I don't know how they know, but they do. Hornets hanging tough. It's locked right now on my site and FanDuel here. And then the other close one is Denver.
Raptors ball.
Raptors ball? Okay. That's good.
Raptors ball tie game, 108, 20 seconds left in the game. Brandon Ingram with the ball, and he passes it to Quickly scores. So we got a 110-108 game. Hornets ball, 16 seconds left.
Mm-hmm. If you're laying at 8.5, you need overtime, obviously, right? I had a game the other day. Who was it? They won by 13 because they went to overtime. I was laying 9.5. Was it Milwaukee? I forget who it was, but it does happen sometimes. So
I brought it up, though, Scott, with the Raptors, right? 7-1 ATS. They were on the road the whole time, and as underdogs and stuff. Now you're asking them to win by 9. And I don't know, you're a big system guy and all that. We haven't talked about this one, I don't think, you and me, but teams back off of successful road trips in the first game back are killers, bro. I hate betting on teams. First game back home after a successful road trip. If it's a bad road trip, they have a different edge to them back. But everything's great. They got back home, a couple, you know what I mean? It's all great. We probably went
Everyone's
out,
patting
did
on
this.
your back,
And,
talking about how great you are.
Yeah,
all the fans
and they're like,
are
we got the Hornets. We always beat the Hornets. We beat them all. You know what I mean? Everyone on the Raptors never lost to the Hornets, basically, right? They're like, man, we always beat. Like, 9 in a row. We never lose to these guys. Yeah, like. So then suddenly, here we go, 110-108 with 7 seconds left. And pretty epic stuff. The Raptors are good defensively. And, dude, the Hornets were about to tie the game, and Brandon Ingram, of all people, just blocked a dunk. Like, seriously.
Wow.
Like, he went up and, smashed the ball against the rim, and then Jakob Poeltl came in and, ripped the ball out of the Hornets. I don't even call him a Panther, Carolina, but Charlotte ripped the ball out of his hand. So it is Hornet ball, but 7.5 seconds left right now.
All right. So we'll hold on to that one.
Boy. I have a money line parlay, Scott, with the Raptors and with the Raptors. Yeah, OKC. So I was going to say Golden State and San Antonio, you and I on Friday. I'm done betting against the Warriors and the Spurs. We lost again. I'm 0 for 2 with that. Blew the big lead, man. That was unbelievable. Oh, is it going overtime?
Nope.
Oh!
FanDuel's got it. Raptors win.
Wow. The ball bounced. I thought, dude, I don't know who missed the shot. He missed like a 4-footer type of thing. I was like, oh, it's going to go to overtime. Somehow the ball he missed, he came up short, and Buddy on the Hornets got the rebound, and Jakob Poeltl blocked it. Like, they literally just blocked 2 shots in the last 10 seconds, the Raptors, to squeeze it out. 110, 108. So my moneyline parlay is alive. I got the Raptors to win the game. See, I know the Raptors, Scott. I didn't lay the points tonight. So, no, moneyline.
Not bad. All right. We got OKC by 25 over New Orleans. How bad are the Pelicans? And then we got Minnesota by 27 over Dallas. And how bad is Dallas? You know, you got what you wanted. The GM is out the door, and I'm okay with that. But that doesn't mean your fortunes are going to change around anytime soon. So 2 blowouts there. And we never made any comebacks in our hockey. You and I both on the wrong end of things. Bruins lose 3-1.
Are you on the Canadians?
Kings lose 2-1. Yeah, I'm Montreal too. Yep.
They've tied it, Scott.
They just tied it.
We got a 3-3 game. Let's hope. Maybe we could broken clock. Maybe once today. Let's try to get this one home. Come on.
This is my hockey night. I always play every team to score a goal, right? And I didn't play it tonight because with the Monday Night Football and all the other things going on,
everybody has.
I just did it. Yeah, every team has heading into the final game.
So far,
Anaheim.
Yeah, so far everybody has. Speaking of which, there is one last game, and you and I have been betting on the Ducks quite a bit. Funny now that they're down to minus 115, right? So what did they do? They stumbled on the road a bit. What happened in the last game?
Yeah, they lost three straight to close out their road trip. Still 7-3 their last 10, but yeah, they kind of are. They limped home.
They had to come back down to earth a little bit, right? So they had the Colorado game, which I would remember we were on Colorado, and over the weekend they lost to the Red Wings 6-3, and then they lost 2-0 to the Wild. So this is that classic spot. This isn't a good, happy returning. This is an angry, let's get it going again return. I like the Ducks tonight. Give me the Ducks. Not like the Utah Mammoth are lighting it up, bro. They're struggling too.
Yeah, that's what I looked at. So who are the Mammoth to be to basically pick them on the road? At home, okay, but on the road. So yeah, same thing.
They're 5-5 on the road and 5-1-1 at home. Big difference, Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5-1-1 at home, 5-5 on the road.
Yeah. Anaheim's 5-1 last 6 at home as well. So it's true. You play a bad road trip, then you come home and the fans get back into you, get a little rejuvenated. You want to get back on the winning side of things. So hopefully the Ducks get the win tonight. I do like that.
Edmonton gives up 5 goals again tonight.
Oh, look at that!
That's something that's continuing with them, right? From
4-9 on the road.
5 goals, 9 goals. And that's the thing with the Oilers, Scott. Okay, they stop the bleeding a little bit, they win, but then they take a step back again, right? They're not. It's just they can't get on track. This team. It's kind of crazy. It's very like the Vancouver Canucks, but the Vancouver Canucks don't have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on their team, right? The Canucks will win a game or two, but then they'll lose. They can't get on. They can't get it going. The Oilers can't get it going, right? They lose the 9-1 game. They come back. They win 5-4. In an overtime type of deal, and they win a couple, and now boom, right back. Not just losing, Scott, but a 5-1 loss to the Buffalo Sabres, who aren't a very good team.
Not only that, you want to hear a good stat with Edmonton. Listen, 9-8-4 is not good to begin with, but they only have 4 regulation wins. So they got 9
That's
wins.
Wild.
5 have come in overtime or shootouts. Only 4 regulation wins.
Yeah. Because overtime and shootout, Scott, it's skill, right? There's only 4. There's no one on the ice. No one's on the ice or the shootout, and they have Connor McDavid. So basically, it basically tells you that 5-on-5 in regulation times are not very good, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They pull out some games and shootouts and overtime since they got a bunch of fast dudes that are good offensively, and it's almost impossible to stop them. But 5-on-5, they got big problems. This Oiler team. It's still early. And one thing this year, guys, with the NHL, now betting purposes is we got to fade the Oilers. It was my mistake for betting them tonight. I just figured, listen, they'll beat the Sabres. But remember this year, it's an Olympic year. So there really could be a very big pre and post Olympics sort of trend, Scott. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because a team is good now, are they going to be good coming out of the Olympics? And, you know, like coming out of the Olympics, there's going to be a lot of team. Not everyone is good enough to be on the Olympic team. So you're going to have a lot of really well-rested players, Scott, like ready to freaking go, bro, when they come back, you know?
Are they allowed to
And
practice?
some teams.
Do you know? Are these NHL teams allowed to practice? No. Wow.
No. The
3-week
league is shut down.
Right.
The league is shut down.
Wow.
Now, the players are allowed to do their own, you know what I mean, if they really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But no, like the league is shut down. It's some dudes will be going like to Mexico and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a mini vacation, but it's not shut down the whole time. I think they get like, I don't know, I think they get 5 days off or something, and then they got to report back. So it's not, I don't know the exact rules, but no, they're not allowed to practice every day. Like, it's an all-star break. Like, they lost their all-star game. Right? So it's basically, it's an all-star break. So, no, you know, I think it's like 17 days type of thing.
2.5 weeks.
I think, like it's 11 days of action type in the Olympics. Like 10 or 12 days, like a week and a half only. They kind of condensed it. But, dude, it's, you know, it's in Italy. Like, you can't just show up the night before. You know what I mean? Like, it's so they need, like, I think it's like 17 days when it's all said and done.
Wow. That's going to be weird. Well, maybe that's what these teams are waiting for, second half of this season. All right, In-Game Live continues here on the Grid.
Rick Pitino after the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this: very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, you know, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back In-Game Live. Game day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe looking at the little third quarter action. We got Dallas with the ball and the lead and on the move. 24-9. Already hit at least one of our halftime props that we gave out. As I told you about Pickens, right? I said, don't make this stuff harder than it has to be. He's got 100 yards in the first half. They're not going to sit on the ball second half.
He just caught another pass, too.
Yeah, he's up to 144 already. So that was an easy winner. That was an easy. And I still, I don't know what they're going to offer us now, but I don't think with that Dallas
this is a
defense,
good time.
I don't think they're Yeah, I'm taking a foot off the pedal, down to the 3, down to the 2. How about that?
Yeah, this is a good time for my Javonte Williams touchdown. He wasn't on the field on that first down, but I think they just brought him in right now, actually. This is a perfect spot for him. They're going to give him the ball. I mean, this has it written all over it. They don't. They throw the ball. Oh. Man, Dak is just padding his stats tonight. Dak Prescott throws his 4th touchdown. Wow. They just keep coming. Like, it's a Dak Prescott. Man, we talked about it, though, huh?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott in prime time, man.
There's certain MOs, like the Dolphins yesterday. Listen, I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm the first to tell you they suck. But against losing teams, and this and that, they win those games. That's the MO in line in the sand. And with Dak, same thing. Against bad teams, the guy wins. He doesn't beat the good teams.
He'll light it up.
But he can beat the bad teams. Yeah, I mean, he kind of takes that next step of Geno. Like, there's a reason why the guy's in the league. Yeah.
Who had a Flournoy? Who had a Flournoy touchdown prop?
Wow. Who is that even? I mean, sometimes, when you look at the back of the jersey, you see the spelling, you're like, okay, I remember him. Yeah.
You know what? He's only got 1 catch, too, Scott. That's it. That was the only catch of the night. Not bad. Hey, good night for him. He's going to have a nice plane ride back home to Dallas tonight. He's going to be on his phone, look at the highlights. Oh, yeah, I scored touchdown. Like, 1 catch.
You know what's amazing?
1 catch, 2 yards, 1 touchdown.
Like, that play game was designed for him. That wasn't a Dak scramble and, okay, I'm going to throw it to this guy. So it's like, how do you justify, like, calling it for a guy who, hasn't had a catch and is not really part of your offense down in the red zone?
That's the definition of them trolling the Raiders, essentially.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
They're like, you know what? We're going to get this guy his touchdown here. Let's, I'm going to throw it to you. Like, he was probably even surprised in the huddle. Well, who, me? Really? Yeah. It's coming to you. Like, we're going to you here.
Are you sure about that, Dak? You really?
Javonte Williams is standing there in his head thinking, you son of a bitches. Yeah. I was just not in on first down. Would you just bring me in for as a decoy? You know what I mean? Because Williams is thinking, as he's running on the field, he's thinking, I'm going to get a touchdown here. You're going to give me the ball here on the 2-yard line. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. They throw it.
This is like the Kareem Hunt, in reverse for Dallas with Javonte Williams. You run between the 20s, and we're going to take you out versus, with Hunt being put in there.
And I'm not saying there's team chemistry problems with it, but everybody wants to get theirs. Everybody wants their numbers. They're pros. They want to score a touchdown. You know what I mean? Like, if you're the running back, like Javonte Williams, thinking, man, you guys were giving me more chances a couple of weeks ago. You're throwing it now. But it's a Dak night, whatever. I guess they decided it's a Dak Prescott night tonight, and we're going to let Dak, rack it up. So he's 20 of 26, 246, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Meanwhile, Geno Smith, 17 of 30 right now, 174. Wow. And a 31-9 game. So it's kind of slowed down. You got to believe, Scott, that they're going to kind of take the pedal off the metal and start running the ball soon?
One more, I would say, if the Raiders don't score here, then you got to start worrying about that total, or at least slowing it down. Like, I wouldn't necessarily be betting the over again.
57.5. 57.5.
That's still 3 touchdowns, right? They're at 40. You're at a 22, so there's probably a 2-point conversion.
And the Raiders won't be in a hurry to be kicking field goals, to be honest, either. Right?
Yeah, no. Your field goal prop's in a little bit of trouble. You got to get lucky now.
Well, they are down 22. So, and they are the Raiders, so you never know what they'll do. They might kick a field goal. Right?
If they're 4th and 15 or something, it's like, what's the point? So,
all right, Wetzel, we're going to a shootout now in Columbus.
All right. That's not too bad.
Montreal Canadiens do have a bunch of skilled players. We were talking about the Oilers. The Canadiens are generally good at this. They've got a bunch of very skilled players. So they last year they were really good in shootouts and in penalty and overtime and stuff. I am not, though, personally, Scott. Just for the record, I sort of have a bad luck thing. It's weird because I don't have a bad luck thing in baseball with the ghost runner and extra innings and stuff, but I do in hockey. I generally, when games go to shootout, I'm never on the right side of it for whatever reason. So we'll see if tonight can be an aberration.
I don't think like anybody wins. I never hear anyone say, "Oh yeah, I'm great at shootouts. I love them."
No, but I mean bad, Scott. Like I'm probably like 15 and 400 type thing. like, maybe an exaggeration. I know I've won more than I remember the losses more, but like right on cue, Columbus just scored first. So just for the right away, we're playing from behind. All right, let's go. I got my eye on this. Let's go. Yeah, Columbus
Montreal
scored
was
first.
7-1. Their last 8 against Columbus too. That's why I played them. Figured they would break out of their little mini slump. All right.
Dude on Montreal just did like the biggest, was it Suzuki? Nick Suzuki just did like some really like hockey pond, jackass type stuff that people hate. He came in super slow. He did like 15 stick handles. He got all cute and stuff. Allowed. Yeah, and then he fooled the goalie, and he got like he tried to show off, and the goalie stopped it in the last second. He didn't finish it off, and he hot dogged it up, which is going to piss off the bench of the Jackets and get them going. Now the Jacket guy's doing the same thing, and he gets stopped. I hate that, Scott. And trust me, I was a goalie. Trust me, goalies love when you come in slow like that. If you'll notice in these shootouts in the NHL, the guys that score come in fast and shoot the puck from like 8 feet away. You come in fast, you shoot the puck low, the goalie can't react to it. These guys got to come in in these little circles, skating slow. Like the goalie's just sitting there waiting for him.
What's the rule is you got to still be going forward, right? That you got to be moving.
Yeah, here's the guy. Here's the next guy on Montreal doing the same crap.
We're in trouble.
Cold coffee.
1 shot left. All right.
Yeah, same crap. Comes in slow, circle.
Rick Pitino after the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this: very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams, and if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march, and I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East, and they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
So much for that. The black cloud from Gabe continues.
Yeah, told you.
4-3 Columbus wins.
Told
you were right. Wow.
All right, let's keep track of this starting tonight since I brought it up. There's still a lot of hockey left this year, all right? So since I brought this up, I'm 0-1. We'll keep track of this. 0-1.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I never win shootouts. Never.
Man. And what's funny is they tied it late, and there wasn't even any kind of real reaction from the Montreal bench. Like, I don't even know did he score?
They
Did not
didn't.
score?
I thought he got stopped,
Like,
Scott. I felt like an idiot because
So,
I'm
I
like,
think
nah,
the
he didn't
ref did
score. But
too. Yeah.
the ref didn't know. Cole Caulfield didn't know. Like, you saw it yourself.
Maybe that's why.
Caulfield
Yeah.
did not react. He didn't know. It was one of those. The goalie didn't know. Like, the goalie kind of looked underneath him after, like, did I stop it? And it was like the ref kind of pointed after, said no. I could tell only because there was 2 Canadian fans right behind the net, and a girl jumped up for real after. She jumped up and she pointed like, goal, goal. Like you said, Caulfield thought he got stopped. He turned around kind of mad and started skating to the bench. And then it was like, no, it was a goal. Like, it took like it was a delayed reaction for everybody. And then right away, Columbus scores on the next shot. So it was right away. We were down again.
Usually these shootouts, you get one, you win. You don't get too many goals for whatever reason in a shootout. But
because all these jackasses screw around. They all come in like at 2 miles an hour.
I know. They overthink it, Gabe. They just go in. Pretend. Get in your mind that it's a breakaway.
Like a breakaway in a game.
Score
Take
9
off.
times out of 10.
Take off.
Yeah, go take off. And just put one geek move on the goalie. He goes left, you go right, boom.
But think about it, guys.
Circling, going circles.
And you never do that in a game. You're doing something you never do. So, like, you know what I mean? You're not in a rhythm of, oh, this is my best spot. Like, if you know, listen, this is my best spot from this spot, fly in and blast it from there. I'm telling you, I was a goalie, man. I know. Like, I used to laugh at people who would try to deke me out. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, I'm going to easily stop this. I'm going to poke check it. I can stop it. Very few people are skilled enough to really pull it off. Like, you got to pull off like 8 little moves, tick, 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 and then score. Like, it's not easy. I used to hate, man, people just come in and blast one. What are you going to do, Scott? You can't stop it. If the shooter shoots it in a good spot and gets it on net, the goalie's kind of helpless. It's a breakaway. The guy's coming in at 100 miles an hour. Again, he's shooting at 100 miles an hour. He's coming in at like 30 miles an hour and shooting 100 miles an hour. Like, the math doesn't add up, but they all turn into like, they think it's a beer league. And they all think, oh, I'm going to try this move that I saw on YouTube. Like, I'm going to come in like, it's like, dude, like, you don't do that during the game. Why are you doing this when the game is on the line? And it's crazy because you get an extra point for winning, Scott. Those wins and losses matter, man.
Absolutely. I tell my daughter that all the time. She plays lacrosse, right? I said, where are you going to shoot the puck, right? You shoot it to the top right shoulder. Bottom left, he's got the stick there. Bottom right, you can move the stick over. Top left, you put the glove up there. You're not blocking a shot on your right shoulder. I would go there 9 times.
Yeah, blocker
kind of lift you.
Blocker
right?
side is hard. You're right. And the other one, same thing. NHL goalies don't like it, is low to their blocker side.
Right.
Right? It's harder to react. Like you said, the stick is longer, so you can go that way. You get your pad out, right? It's kind of like there's nowhere to go. Like when you go short, if a shooter is good, short side is very difficult. Like, you'll notice good defensemen do that, Scott. The smart defensemen aren't like blasting these shots that like never hit the net and go over the net and hit the glass. Like Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, like the top defensemen in the world, you'll notice they blast the shot, man, like this high off the ice at the net, right? It can hit a stick. It could get deflected. The goalie has a hard time seeing it. It's hard to react for a goalie. Goalies are big nowadays. The gear is big. Like, a lot of these goalies, Scott, they don't really see the puck. The puck is coming in too fast. So it's all like they're positioned to stop it, you know, and the equipment is so damn big nowadays. Right? In the 70s, man, pads were small and stuff. There was a lot of net to shoot at. Now there's no net to shoot at.
Yeah. You just kind of get in the way. It's very frustrating as a fan. You see this, and it's like, man, they're making the goalie be the greatest thing in the world, but in reality, he could not stop the puck. Because you hit
I sit behind the net a lot, dude. It's like 8 times a game, man. The goalie's looking around after, like, where's the puck? And he stopped it. But it's like, dude, it's under your pad. He doesn't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Columbus goalie. He's like, did I stop it? Where, like, doesn't know. You know what I mean? Because there's all his gear and it went through and where's the puck? And like, and the other times it's just coming in 102 miles an hour and it's a little piece of rubber. So they kind of see just sort of a blip of a black thing that's coming, right? It's just basically position yourself.
All right, Brady Cannon, back to the football. We come back to Game Live.
team after the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 3. We got through 3, just starting the fourth quarter here. Dallas leading at 31-9. So start the fourth quarter. You know what that means. We bring in our good buddy, SportsGrid host. You see it here all the time, Brady Cannon, to the program. Get some fourth quarter prop plays from him. What's going on, Brady? How are you tonight?
Well, I've been better. The home team here, really a lethargic effort here on national TV. I mean, in the first half, Gino drops back 32 times. They hand it to Ashton Jeanty twice and Raheem Mostert once. I mean, to put that kind of workload on this guy, Geno Smith, it's not working out. I don't know where that game plan comes from. So disappointing here. I thought the Raiders would absolutely show up. I mean, anybody can look pretty good against that Dallas defense, but not the case tonight.
So you are on the Raiders.
They are moving the ball now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a little of that is prevent on the behalf of the Dallas defense, kind of, trying to let them move between the 20s and see if they can improve on the red zone defense or what have you. No, I was not on the Raiders. I did not have a bet in this game, and I'm glad I didn't. I really went back and forth. I didn't know which way to go. I thought the fact that this was going to be the first game since the young men, passed away as a part of the Cowboys crew, I thought that might be something that was very motivational for this Cowboys team. We saw, of course, the line movement. It went from 3 to 3.5 and back and forth, and then went to 3. And I thought it might even go to 4. But it feels like the people that bet on it feels like the majority was on the Cowboys, and they're being rewarded tonight.
I got good news for you, Scott, though. Tyler Lockett, 3 catches, 33 yards.
Cha-ching. There we go. I'd keep on playing.
Goes over again the yardage.
38.5. Yeah, we were just giving out some halftime numbers. So we hit a couple of them so far, Brady. Any prop plays tonight that you liked, and where would you go now, if anywhere?
Well, the one that I liked coming in was under on anything for Brock Bowers. Now, receptions he may have gone over. I'm not sure where he is on yardage, but I thought with Overshown coming back on defense for the Cowboys, I thought that was going to be a good guy to try and contain Brock Bowers. And I know he came out of the game one time. He's dealing with that knee brace. I don't know if he's been as big a factor as I thought maybe he would be.
Oh, he got a touchdown.
Touchdown,
Trey
Raiders?
Tucker.
Okay.
Trey Tucker, touchdown. Geno Smith, touchdown pass. Trey Tucker, 6-yard touchdown reception. So this total is in play right now.
Absolutely. I mean, you almost have to believe it's going to go over at this point. But Tucker was a guy that I felt that was a good guy to look at to go over on any of his prop bets once they got rid of Jacoby Myers. He kind of becomes elevated in the depth chart once Myers went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So not surprising to see Tucker catch a touchdown pass. I think that's the second time he's been targeted in the end zone. I don't know if it was he ran the wrong direction or if Geno just missed him, but it was earlier in this game off of the Max Crosby forced fumble that they missed Tucker in the end zone earlier in this game. So he's maybe a guy to take a look at going forward on this Raiders offense in the prop market, because I think he's getting more run with the absence of Jacoby Myers.
All right. They do go for one, cut the lead to 15. It was a 16-point deficit. They could have theoretically gone for two. They're going to have to go for two somewhere along the line. But, strategically, does it maybe not make a difference? But it does if you got the over-under at 48. Now you're at 47. So do you see any
How
kind
about
of
Geno, too, Scott?
Yeah,
how about Geno, too? I played over 40. Imagine this, Brady. We talked about it. We were calling out the play calling earlier as well, Chip Kelly. How the hell does Ashton Jeanty have two touches, 2 rushes? But Geno Smith, 27 pass attempts or 28 pass attempts in the first 28 in the first half. That's just absolute insanity. And the prop was 47.5, Brady, at the half, his total pass attempts. Can you imagine telling you today before the game, yeah, like I'm going to bet Geno Smith over 47.5 pass attempts tonight? You think like, man. Yeah. This guy, like, what are you, insane? Like, he's had to throw the ball 48 times. 48 times. He might throw the ball 50 times, Scott. He's on pace for 54 or something.
Yeah. You know what's weird is Chip Kelly comes off of being the offensive coordinator for the national champion in college football. Now, I know Ohio State is a different animal on the food chain in college football versus what the Raiders are.
More
in the
pressure. He didn't want the pressure, so he took the Raider job.
Right. Low expectations here in Vegas, but it is weird to see his offense be so vanilla. But I also think, and it's a part of Ashton Jeanty too, I do believe they're a little bit hamstrung, and I think this is absolutely the biggest problem the Raiders have is their offensive line. Smith has no time to throw. He's getting pressured almost immediately all night long from a Dallas pass rush that has improved as it's gotten healthier, and now adding Quinnen Williams as well. But this defense, I thought we were going to get, a back and forth game here, because the Raiders actually, the best part of their team is probably their defense. It's average, but the rest of their team is below average. And I think the offensive line is well below average, and that's really causing, I believe, a lot of the problems here. Smith with no time, Jeanty can't find a hole. That's got to be addressed, I think, in a big way in this offseason.
Oh, and the Cowboys get a big return out to the 45.
Yeah, this game's going over. Well, there's your 55-yard field goal, in play a little bit here. Just for the record, AI anyway, and they've been known to be wrong, but they say the most pass attempts in a regulation NFL game is 70 by Drew Bledsoe, back in 1994 when he was with the Patriots against the Vikings. So he's got a ways to go before he hits 70.
You know what the most completions ever is? The most completions was just hit on Sunday. Yeah. I think it was 47.
47, yeah. So he's got 25. But yeah, the over kind of looks good right here. All right, so right now the numbers 15.5. Dallas is on the move here a little bit, and 56.5. You're at 47. You might get 2 more scores. I mean, I'm still worried about the 48.5. That's my main concern. But what do you think, Brady? Do we get 2 more scores? Do we go over 56.5?
I think so. I think Dallas will score here, and the Raiders will get another garbage touchdown. As far as the 15.5, I wouldn't be very confident taking the Raiders, even though it looks like they could come through the back door. I've seen this team find a way to mess it up too many times. So I probably wouldn't play that, but I do think we'll get multiple scores. Yes. So I'd probably still go over 56.5.
Mm-hmm. Don't be questioned, right? Why is it Las Vegas Raiders but Vegas Golden Knights?
You know, I was told a long time ago, I've been here almost 31 years now. And you know how it is, people that call San Francisco Frisco, if you live there, you don't like that stuff. And I remember being, around some native Las Vegans, and they didn't like it when people called it just Vegas. They're like, no, it's Las Vegas. And so for a guy to come out and name a team Vegas, I thought was a little odd. But hey, apparently it's working maybe they should have been the Vegas Raiders, because the Vegas Golden Knights are doing great.
Yeah, right. So, all right, we need some scoring here. We need to get a Dallas a little. They got 4th and 7. Wow.
Speak for yourself. I'm sweating out the 55 and a half.
Yeah.
But
still
now,
living the dream on that.
did you say you have a long field goal bet as well?
I also have an over 54 and a half.
Are they in range?
There was a 50-yard attempt earlier. Yeah. There was a 50-yard field goal. Aubrey, of course, on the Cowboys. What the hell is the guy on the Raiders doing on this return, guys? Look at this.
Oh, they're punting. Okay.
Like, how many yards did he just lose? So he caught the ball. No, he caught the ball his own 5. He let it bounce. He got tackled literally on the 1-yard line.
Oh, goodness.
Like, you cannot. Wow.
This could be good for your Geno Smith attempts. Or maybe ask.
Yeah, I know. I need 8 more. 9 more. Yeah. You're right. Let's go. 9 more pass attempts. This could be a turnover, though, too, here. Like,
safety, too. There's your over for the safety. How about that?
There you go.
After the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Live game day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out a little bit of everything, including some Monday Night Football. So Dallas does lead 31-16. Just under 12 minutes left. Raiders with the ball at their own 2-yard line to start this last drive. Talking with our good buddy Brady Cannon. So Brady, pretty good day for Survivor Pool players, right? Yesterday, all the favorites won. Well, they covered a lot different story, but as far as surviving is concerned, I would think there weren't too many people knocked out. Are your entries still alive?
Yeah, no, I was cast by the wayside a while back, twice in the same week when the Arizona Cardinals fell to the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills lost to the Patriots. That was the end.
We've got the
season.
safety.
Oh,
Wow. You can't make that up.
Oh my!
You can't make that up.
I mean, I called
the
it.
Raiders find a way to foul anything up. My goodness.
He could have caught the ball at the 10-yard line in the air. For whatever reason, he let it bounce. Then he picked it up at like the 3-yard line, got lit up, and like it's just, bad special teams play. Now, for whatever reason, Chip Kelly decides to try to run the ball. Okay, if you can run the ball, guys, fine. I brought it up earlier in the night. Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards. You know what I'm saying?
I hope I have faith here. And again, I'm not necessarily a Raider fan. I'm a fan of Las Vegas. And I would like it if our team
they'll never be good to give that up.
Well, I just hope
the baseball team that's 4 years away will win before these guys will.
You might be right.
Point blank.
But what I'm saying is I'm hoping that this new regime, engineered by Tom Brady, will have a plan to get this thing turned around. Because I was just talking earlier, it's embarrassing for me anyway to be in the company of dysfunctional franchises like the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. And I've never really been a part of that my entire life. And I understand you go through waves when your team's no good, but then they come back. Hey, the Detroit Pistons are good again. The Minnesota Vikings are good again. It's designed where, the worst team gets to draft first, so you should be able to improve. You shouldn't be lousy for 20 years. And, again, like I say, I'm not necessarily a Raider fan, but I want to see our hometown team be relevant and exciting and engaging. And they haven't been for a long time. I'm hoping slowly but surely. I mean, they really honestly need about 25 draft picks to get this thing turned around in the right direction.
And the other pro sports teams in Vegas are good. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights have been successful. Most successful sort of expansion in the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so UNLV.
Yeah,
UNLV have even gotten good, and they've never been good.
No. Last 3 years of UNLV football have been the best I've ever seen them in 30-plus years.
Except UNLV basketball is sort of like the Raiders.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff, guys, is just, I say it all the time, it's coaching, right? Your offensive line sucks. They put a stat up there. Genty has the fewest yards before contact out of any running back in the NFL, 1.4 yards. And then you're at your own goal line. So what do? You give the ball to Genty 6 yards deep. Literally, if you go back and look at the play,
How
he's
about
at
the
least
4th and 1
6,
call when they
7
pitched
yards
it
deep
back
in the
to
end
him
zone?
8 yards deep in the backfield? That was an awful
Why do
play
they
call.
do
Now
that?
they made it. They got the first down, but that was horrible.
No, you can't make this up again, guys.
What happened now?
You can't make this up. So off the safety, the Raiders have to kick the ball off. They tried an onside punt kick.
No, come on.
And it was recovered by Dallas. They just gave the ball to Dallas on the Raiders 35-yard line, 30-yard line.
Well,
if I would have known,
over 56 and a half.
Oh, I'm done. I got under 55 and a half. I didn't know they're going to give him the ball. Guys, you give up a safety and you try some weird jackass, weird punt that went 10 yards high in the air.
Are they tanking?
You have to tell them, too. You have to tell them you're doing that. These new rules, you have to tell them you're going to do an onside kick.
Which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, they had Pickens out there. So Pickens was the one that recovered it. So you got to be kidding me. You're seriously, you can't make this up. Their level of stupidity.
It's so bad. Yeah. I mean, they played worst football games in the history of the league earlier this year.
Just kick the damn ball off, man.
And they ran 30 offensive plays.
I don't know the rules on, is that a live ball? And because Dopey Dallas, too, is called for a fair catch, which makes sense. But I don't know, is that technically a punt or technically a kickoff? Because if it's a punt, it's a live ball, and they let the ball bounce. If it's a
free kick. It's a free kick.
Right.
So does Dallas have to recover it? My question.
They could kick it off. They could punt it. So, yeah, they could have. But, no, there's no fair catch on that there. on the
Dallas
punt
lets
if
the
they
ball
would have kicked
bounce,
it off.
which is crazy.
Yeah, but if they would have kicked it
either
off,
way.
Scott, then they could have called a fair catch. You know what I mean? But they didn't. They
Right.
actually technically punted it, right?
So that's what I mean. It technically is called a punt. Then they don't have to catch the ball. Okay, so then
What would you guys do? What would you guys do? I think it's next week or this week rather. Dallas is back home hosting Philadelphia. Same season revenge, first game of the year. That was a good game. Dallas was competitive in that game. You know, and I don't want to react. We know Dallas's offense is good. I think their defense has gotten better. It's still not that good, but Philadelphia's offense has not looked good for 2 weeks in a row.
They have played Philadelphia tough historically, Brady.
They have.
We saw in week one, it was a 4-point game, but Dak Prescott actually has a good record against the Eagles.
My initial reaction would be to take Dallas this week against Philadelphia. But I wonder if that is reactionary to what we've seen out of the Eagles versus what we're seeing tonight.
Well, they don't blow anybody out. We know that, the Eagles. Their games are always close.
Yeah, right.
It starts a
Man,
Eagles,
Buffalo are up to
Chiefs,
5.5
Lions.
right now. Dear
Go on.
God. It was 2.5 last week. Remember we talked about this game and we said, man, if Davis, we all know that CJ Stroud's going to be out. It was 2.5. And I said, oh, it won't be 2.5 next week. 5.5. It was 3.5 earlier in the day. 5.5 right now already.
Wow. 43.5 the total.
Does that tell you that Davis Mills is going to be quarterbacking again? I think maybe so.
Oh, he is. Yeah, Stroud's going to be out.
Yeah. So, thanks, Brady. Do appreciate it. We'll do it again next week.
Rick Pitino asked the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this: very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe, thanks again to Brady Cannon, who joins us every Monday and Thursday during these football games. So listen, if you haven't Dallas in the survivor pool, you're going to have to worry about that. It's 33-16. They do have the ball after the botched, I don't know what they were trying there, onside punt off the safety. So it's at 49. So for the most part, it went over. Though, if you got it earlier, it was 50.5, to tell you the truth, earlier in the week. So you still have a little bit of concern for those players. players. Up to 58.5, Gabe. 19.5 is your in-game line number, which I'm a little surprised since they're up 17 and they're in the field goal range. I guess they're compensating for maybe the, oh, by the way, touchdown with 8.5 minutes left. But
I need to slow down here.
Raider performance. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, it's one of these deals.
Yeah.
I need a field goal here. Like, I can't. Touchdown kills me. Touchdown beats me. Right? I got under 55.5, so 56 kills me.
Yeah.
I need them to hold to a field goal here, and I got to hope the Raiders don't score after. We'll see. I can't win them all. I had Dallas -3. I am on Dallas -3. I've got, I had the Dallas and the Raptors money line parlay. So I'd like to try to go 3-0 with my bigger plays here tonight and keep this under 55.5. Cowboys are running the ball and trying to just slow it down here right now.
Yeah.
Although, will they throw the dagger here on third down, Scott? Dak looking for that 5th touchdown pass tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, you wonder sometimes where it's just designated, all right, we're going to, showcase this thing. So, and then listen, they kick the field goal, they're up 20. How motivated are the Raiders really going to be at this point? With 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left, right?
They'll have one drive in them, and we'll see if they can complete the passes or first down Cowboys. So they're eating up this clock.
That's good.
They're inside, they're at the 12 here right now.
They didn't go for it.
Yeah, can the Raiders get a stop?
Right? 4th and 4? Or they did go for, 4th and 4. They had it.
No, it was 3rd and 2, and they got a first down. It was 3rd and 2, and they threw it to Lamb. So more stats for Lamb. Cowboys are padding their stats. I need the Raiders to get the ball back, though, at the same time. I'm all over the place. I need the Raiders to get the ball back. And, the Geno's still at 39 right now.
Wow.
So I'm going to need 9. I'm in trouble, to be honest with
last
you.
drive.
And
we skipped the
drive. He's at 229. Yeah, they lost the drive. You're right.
Yeah.
They got the ball on the 1 yard line. It was a safety. They lost the drive and they have the ball since. That was the screw job here.
That was it. A dope getting the ball. I mean, listen, the Rams win the football game yesterday because their punter pins it inside the 1 yard line against Seattle. And the Raiders weren't going to win this game. But, when you do stupid things on special teams, it does cost the club. And him letting that ball bounce at the 10 yard line when he was right there to catch the ball. And then he finally picks it up at the 5 and then runs backwards. I mean, what are you doing? So
and then they do an onside kick on the kickoff after. You just add it up. And the other thing, we talk about it. We all know if Ashley and Jenny, your line sucks and you haven't run the ball tonight, why are you trying to run the ball when you're on your damn goal line and you're going to get tackled if you know? If we run the ball in here, he gets tackled for a safety, behind the line of scrimmage, it's a safety, and they do it anyways. Right? Yeah. They do it anyways.
I mean, it's just do a quarterback sneak, get yourself a couple of yards, and then give yourself a little room to maneuver. It's, again, coaching. I mean, some of these coaches
the Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly experiment is not working. Yeah. Let's call it out for what it is.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be this bad.
They haven't won. They shouldn't be. They should be. I wonder if they make
their defense is pretty good. Their defense is pretty good. You've got Brock Bowers. You got Ashton Genty. I know your line sucks, but play to it. Coach around it. You know what I mean? Understand it. Say, all right, we can't do this with this line, right? But they insist on trying things that don't work all the time over and over, for whatever dumb reason. Now we're going to see what the Cowboys want to do here because now they're in a 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Technically, Scott, the smart thing to do. So you're up by you think they're going to go for it here on 4th and 2, just ice it, yeah. They really don't have anything to lose. If
it was a 16-point lead, you wouldn't.
I know.
But it's already 3, so you give the ball to the Raiders.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping that, no, just kick the field goal and get up by 22 or whatever. But they already are. It's already fine.
Yeah.
So 33-16. I don't know. They are thinking about it. They just called a timeout. They let the clock go down.
And you got 55.5. I mean, any chance they would go for 2? 39, 16? Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
And there's not much of a hope in hell that Aubrey will miss the extra point.
Yeah.
Although I tell you, there's a better chance of him missing an extra point than a 55-yard field goal at least. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him miss an extra point before.
Yeah.
team after the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. The fickle fate of gambling. It all depends. It's amazing how many times this stuff, it's basically just percentages and averages, rather. But Dallas does not get the touchdown. They go for it on 4th down, 4th and 2.
And
so
they throw
you're
the
at
ball.
40, and they threw the ball. So you're at 49. And I say that, Gabe, because earlier in the week it was 50 and a half or so. I saw it drop down to 48 and a half. So depending on, when and where you do your shopping. It was
49 and a half this morning.
Yeah.
It was. It closed at 48 and a half, but it was 49 and a half earlier in the day.
Yeah. So
amazing.
This had over written all over it. It might not. It might not make it. You got to survive 1-0 by the way drive. Or another dopey safety by the Raiders if you want to go.
Did you play
When's
Genty?
The last time a team has had 2 safeties?
Oh, yeah. Not back-to-back. Well, they just completed a pass to Genty at least. So for anyone that played that Genty receiving stuff, I need to rack up a bunch of completions here from Gino, or attempts even, not even completions, attempts. But he's going to need to complete a few to get the drive going, get the attempts going, right?
Right.
So,
you're not going to run.
You know what I mean? Maybe they run once or twice or something. Yeah, so I'm thinking 2 first downs, maybe, if they throw 4-4-4 type thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's 3rd down coming up. He's thrown on both plays so far. Maybe they run it here on 3rd and 2, but if they keep the drive going, I think I can get there on this drive.
Yeah. Let's hope they can't do simple arithmetic. They got if they could do simple arithmetic, Gabe, then they realize they're down 3 scores and the game's over, right? With 2.5 minutes left. Because I had a similar spot yesterday with the Bungles against Pittsburgh. I needed 1, by the way, touchdown, but they were down 3 scores with 3.5 minutes left, and they drove down the field, but there was no sense of urgency at all. They knew the game was over. Whereas you hope the Raiders don't realize that and throw a little bit here. So you got 41. FanDuel or 4-letter network saying 42. Oh, yeah, they got 42 attempts. What do you need? 49?
Now 42. It's 4th and 1 now. So, dear God. Ooh. The total's back in play again because if they don't get it, the Cowboys have the ball on the 10-yard line. Oh,
would they call any timeouts? Oh, my goodness.
This won't end.
Right. Oh, jeez. Like they have to, even if they didn't call any timeouts, they would still have to run a 4th down play, Dallas. Would they kick a field goal?
So here it is, 4th down. The Raiders don't have a choice. They got to go for it.
Oh, my goodness, they didn't get it. Wow.
he gets sacked on the 5-yard line. You can't make this up, the Raiders. Like, the Raiders are just like...
They are so bad.
Like, you can't make this up, huh? Between the 1-yard line, the safety, the onside punt, whatever, they're like, what the hell are you guys doing? Yeah, what are you doing?
Guy in the face.
It's 4th and 1. Why didn't you run it?
Just do quarterback sneak. Gino, don't even run down the field. Just take 1 yard, get the first down, and then let's go. That's all.
And Gino, you've been he's been sacked like a million times tonight, the poor dude. Like, how many? So 4 times now. It feels like more. Yet, so on 4th and 1, you got him rolling out in the shotgun, like far back, like he loses like 10 yards. You can't make this up. Yeah. What the hell? I've never seen this, Scott. The Cowboys just took a knee with 2:30 left. What the hell's going on?
What are they doing?
I've never seen this with 2:30. With 2:30 left.
You can't. When they're going to take 4 knees and give it back to the Raiders? Is that what they're going to do?
And of course, you can't make this up. There's a penalty on the Raiders. The Cowboys take a knee, and the Raiders are offside. The Raiders are offside. Yeah, like, even one, like, you can't, like, I'm almost... This is like some of the worst display of football ever, Scott, that you and I are watching right now.
Dallas,
like, if Mark Davis wasn't too busy sitting up there, if Mark Davis wasn't too busy up there in his booth with like 7 MILFs right now, like, most owners would be freaking out. Al Davis just having a drink. Yeah. Like, Mark Davis having a drink up there. Like, whatever.
And Gabe,
Scott, it wasn't even again.
It wasn't even a competitive play. Wow. You know,
have you ever seen this in your life with 2:30 left and the other team with 3 timeouts? And get this, the Raiders aren't using their timeouts.
Wow. Well,
Pete Carroll's tapped.
They must have told them. They must have gave signals. Just, you know,
this is a class thing where he looked over, mercy. Yeah, he's like, yeah, mercy. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be done for our purposes. Well, they get the 2-minute warning. That'll take a couple minutes. But, yeah. They'll take 3 knees. Raiders will get the ball. Raiders will take 1 knee. And
what an ultimate slap in the face of a 17-point game with 2:30 left. Yeah. This is some, like, high school football stuff. We're like, yeah, I'm buddies with the other coach, so we're going to take a knee here, you know? Like, dude.
You tell me Dallas doesn't want to score, right? You got a touchdown.
2:30 left.
Yeah. Wow. You talk about a bad beat. If you
anyone that bet an under, though, and there's people with bets out there, exactly. Anybody with over 49.5 right now, somebody like that bet it earlier today, it's just like going to throw up. And there's some lucky bastard that's going to escape here with an under 49.5, Scott.
Yep. Wow. Welcome to gambling, folks.
You know what, though? But at this rate, Gino's going to get the ball back again. I might be able to complete a couple of passes.
He's going to get, what's it, 3rd down now or second down? Second down, right?
Yeah, you know what, though? I bet you the Raiders just take a knee after, too.
They're going
to pull an NBA.
Yeah.
This is like an NBA game, Scott, where the other team dribbles the ball.
Yep.
That's the worst. Doesn't that drive you crazy when the team is losing by 20 and they don't shoot at the end of the game? Yeah. It's like, dude, just shoot. You're losing. But they don't want to screw their shot percentage up, their field goal percentage.
Yeah. I mean, big deal. You lose by 20 versus 22 or something like that. It's like, well, what's the, go play it out.
Well, just shoot. The game is still going on. Just shoot, right? Like, but yeah, it drives me crazy. You bet on an over an NBA game. You need one more bucket, like what, 1:30 left. One team, like, and then, they start shaking hands and dribbling the ball, and like, no, you're like, like.
And you put all the subs in so they could dribble out the final 30 seconds. It's like, what's the point of being in the game? Right? I mean,
let them shoot. Like, who cares if someone's offended? Like, whatever, dude. Like, who cares? Like. Yeah, I bet you the Raiders will take a knee. You're right. Like I said, the Cowboys are taking a knee, and what are the Raiders going to do? They're going to run plays from their own 1-yard line and get another safety again? They probably would, too, to be honest with you. Like, they would screw it up.
They have to.
I think the Cowboys,
they must be giving each other
Cowboys
signals.
just don't want to get injured, too. Like, the Cowboys are like, less plays, just the game's over. Yeah. You don't want to be running kickoff returns and stuff, Scott. Someone's going to get hurt and whatever. Like, you just get out of here. We've won the game.
It actually makes sense.
But I've never seen it with 2:30 left. Yeah, you don't run any more plays, right? Let's not get anyone hurt on this kickoffs and dumb things here.
Yeah.
Although I promise you, Javonte Williams is thinking, man, you could have just given me the ball with 2:30 left. Let me get a touchdown here.
He's got 93 yards, too. 7 short of 100, which is always obviously a little extra special, and then no touchdown. And when he could have easily scored. Even when they had a 4th and 2 for the 4, they didn't run the ball.
They just made up their mind tonight. They were letting him score. Yeah. They every time they were inside the 5, he wasn't on the field, or they threw the ball. They just never gave him a crack at it.
Yeah. They just had it set. This was going to be Dak's game. They just did, for whatever reason. You know, I remember that with Peyton Manning, the one year he had like 45 touchdown passes many moons ago.
Yeah.
You look it up. He must have had about 15 from 1 yard or 2 yards. They didn't run.
There was the same thing, Scott, a few years ago when Lamar Jackson, he got so sick of he can't throw the football thing. He threw a million touchdowns, and it would be like he wasn't running from the 2 and stuff out of spite. He'd throw and he threw for a bunch of touchdowns. He won the MVP, actually, I think. So he was like, oh, yeah, all right, you know what? So that stuff does happen, right, where the coaching staff will sort of say over dinner, listen, Javante's got a lot of touchdowns, but we got to feed some other guys. And you know what I mean? Like, you know, this stuff comes up.
Yeah, got to keep them happy. It's as simple as that. It doesn't sound right, but you got to keep them happy. So Dallas takes 40s. Raiders have the ball. Looks like they're going to take a knee as well. So that's going to be it. 33-16. Wow. Tough beat. Dak goes over his number, passing yards. Yeah. 4 different touchdown guys from Dallas. And
we were on the right side. Cowboys and under teaser. Yeah.
We're back tomorrow to recap it all. Enjoy the rest of your evening, folks.